Hello everyone, and welcome to the preview video for the patch that accompanies the new Nemesis 6 DLC with all the changes that come with it. And the biggest one here is the change to the UI in the armory when you choose a deck, as you now can filter a bit better for the divisions you want. You also get a lot more information, similar to Steel Division 2, but even better because they split the history and the gameplay part. You get a quick two-liner or three or two sentences about what the gameplay division of the division is all around. You get 3 signature units, and that you can pick together with Strike Team, and then you get the history if you want to get a bit more information about the formation in general. So nice mix of a bit more lore, a bit better introduction into the divisions, and making it a lot easier, not just for people who are new, but also for the people who want to pick up a DLC and just want to have a quick reminder what is in there. Like, is First of Thunder worth getting? And then you at least have a bit of an information you and about it here a bit quicker. And yeah, you have decent filters now on the left as well, with a bit more variety in the different divisions that you can get: territorials, motorized, airborne, mechanized, and so on. Not just uh, before it was only cavalry, armored, and infantry, basically. So that is all quite nice. Um, and yep, then the other big change with this patch is bailout got removed. I, a lot of you will rejoice now. Bailout no longer with us, so that's a nice little change as well. The bailout crit, not a fun one to play with. Just randomly getting your tank be completely incapacitated, especially with the heavy ones, is just highly infuriating experience and not really added much. So they removed it completely, and that's nice. Should make armored decks a bit stronger, but especially should make gameplay a bit less frustrating and RNG. So good change there. And yeah, a couple of other changes we will look at the end. AGLs got a visual improvement, and the factory map got a rework as well. So we will look at that at the end. Now let's get to the general changes in damage and so on. And we start with a change to AGLs. AGLs, first of all, got better visual effects now, so they are more spottable. And then they also got their salvo length reduced and a slight HE reduction. Plus, the infantry variants got reduced in price as well. So if we go around and check for support weapons, and then go, for example, for an AGS 17 here, all of them went up 5 points. So luck 40 now at 45 points. Bit too much of double nerfing here again. Um, we will see how it all plays out. Like, the visual effects is nice, that you can see it better when these guys actually open up with you. And the damage or the price nerf, yeah, maybe it's still fine. We'll see. I'm always a bit hesitant when things get double nerfed. So we'll see how it all works out. And yeah, with that, let's start with the NATO changes, as we will go around and start with a couple of tank changes here coming around. First one being for the MX-30 EBG. That one is the support variant of the MX-30 that I basically never saw play. And it now is 5 points cheaper. The issue compared to other support vehicles like it is it has only 850 meter range. Still good damage output there, but that is a limiting factor. And the more impactful change to the 5-point price buff is it went from 6 to 10 base availability. So you get quite a couple of these. And I believe that makes them really worthwhile. Like, you get 10 of these, pushing them around with your infantry now should be quite good. They have smoke, so they can disengage. They have okay speed as well. So yeah, these are pretty scary now, I would argue. And the 15 Day is still not a bad deck, so yeah, that one should be interesting. And then we have a couple of command tank price changes as well. First one being the Centurion Mark 13, going up 5 points, so it has the 20-point gap here to the Centurion. which also went up 5 points because it was really good. It, like, really, really good. So, yeah, Centurion Mark 13 going up a slight bit in price here to go up to 70 points. HDR London, not that much overperforming, but quite a strong deck, so making those little changes here makes sense. And then we have the M1 Abrams National Guard going down to 180 points. So it's now 20 points cheaper than its non-National Guard competitor. And that should make it worthwhile. That 34th with the M1 IP buff already got back into play. Got a couple of other smaller buffs before. The Reservist Changes obviously helping out, and so on too. So the M1 Abrams National Guards now being at 180 points. So now you have two viable tanks in the tank tab. The Zero Vet and the Reservist still mean that it's not amazing. The accuracy debuff and especially the stress that you generate on a tank like this are still impactful, so the 20-point difference of makes sense. Maybe 15 points would have been the better starting point, but 20, just like, I don't believe it will be OP. If it will be, obviously we can still move it up 5 points again, but I don't believe it will be. But 24th should be really good now. This is a good change. Took a while, but we finally got the National Guard M1 Abrams back in business. So that's a nice little change here. And then we have a change to the Recon Puma Orchidee, going down 5 points. Being in a sectional optics helicopter now for 45 points. The other is the Jammer one here, the Puma head, but that's a solid buff here for 6 Leger. It's a 6 hit point helicopter, but it's relatively fast. Natural optics, so Puma Orchidee here going slightly down on price. And then we have a good couple of commander infantry changes. We have, for example, the Aero Rifle Leader, which goes up 5 points, which is the one with the law and the smoke. We have the Air Mobile Leader, which is the British one, going up 10 points even. Smoke and good amount of hit points here. So all of that, those being like kind of compared to each other and other infantry leaders to put them around. A lot of 5 and 10 point changes here. Command Chasseurs being the next one for the French. It's only a 5-1 leader with smoke, so 35 points here. No MGs. Small little buff once more to the French, though you don't really use those. The Genie MG for Dutch. Those go up 5 points. They have a Carl Gustav and 5 men, and the Carl Gustav is a pretty powerful AT weapon, so that makes sense as well. And then the Jägerführer going up in price from 60 to 70 points. They are a 10-man leader squad. That's really powerful. They have a smoke grenade, so some nice utility there as well. Good fire output here as well. Being now 30 points more expensive than the general squad, but extra hit point here. And the smoke and the leader trait, like, makes sense to go to 70 here. Panzer Infantry, another Dutch one, going down 5 points from having the Dragon 1. Having Smoke and Dragon 1 here, the Panzer Infantry CMG, yep, that's a pretty powerful one. It's only 4 hit points, but still 45 points there. Relatively decent. The military police leader of the Americans, 11 hit points, but no utility weapons, so going from 75 to 65. Has the military police trait next to it. That's quite good. So another buff here to 24th. 4th. Looking good. Can work around with your National Guard Abrams to get them up vet and the military police. So interesting one there. And then, yeah, National Guard leader going down. National Guard engineers one going down 5 points as well. This is one in the 35th, which is slightly like 6 hit points, has a sniper rifle in the law, but lower accuracy and so on. The Reservist trait in general costing them a good bit, so price change there makes sense as well. Reserve leader of the Canadians, going up 5 points. It has a good AT weapon. It's an 8-man SWAT, so 50 points there, absolutely fair as well. 45 was a bit cheap. And then reservists, as we are here, with all the reservist leader going down 5 points. Reservist leader with no special things, 35 points here. Yes, it gets the extra hit point compared to other 35-point leaders, but the lack of utility, the reservist rate, the zero, well, it actually gets a decent veterancy, but yeah, it's not that great. So Fusileros, this yeah will go on for a while. Fusileros BMR going up 5 points. Decent Spanish leader with some smoke. Then the rifle leaders for the British going up 5 points as well. Smoke and law plus 6 hit points. So really good utility leaders here. Getting their fair share. It's a lot of up and down. Mac rifle leader going down to 45 points. Only a 6-man leader with a decent AT and the smoke as well, but the weaker one in comparison there. So yeah. Then the Gurkha leaders going up by 10 points as they have the good amount of traits here. They have shock, they have resolute, they have mountaineer, they have a law and a smoke. So really good utility. That's why 60 points here is fair share as well. Normal Fusileros Mando, they also got changed down 5 points here. Getting a smoke, 6-man. Yeah, we're a bit more expensive at 45 points, but they don't have an AT or anything, so yeah, 40 points here. Makes sense as well, as they have the best SMGs. We have the Legion Sapeurs leader. That was going down 5 points because they don't have anything special. 8 hit points, but only resolute, no utility. Always hard to justify them on the higher prices. The Beveling, not the Dutch one here, going down 5 points. They have the Super Bazooka, which got up in penetration. Yeah, that's something that I missed as well. There's the Super Bazooka going up across the board, so an interesting little change there as well. And yeah, that's the changes to the leaders. Beveling on the NATO side. Obviously, Pact will have a similar thing coming up. The Bazooka going up in penetration helps out the Dutch a bit. Obviously, also helps out a certain little unit on the DivMob side of things, being the Provinciers, but they now cost 50 points for it. 12 hit points, have the better penetration of the Super Bazooka. So, Provinciers going up there in price from 45 to 50 to pay for that. And yep, that now brings us back to getting on with other units. And we have the CSR going around. I'm not quite sure what that is. I believe it's a recoilless rifle, right? It's the Spanish recoilless rifle. Why is it not showing up? Because I still have no. Let's have a look on the Spanish infantry tab. What the hell? Of NATO. Okay, yeah, there we go. CSR 106 going up, going down 5 points, as it was for some reason more expensive than the other M40A ones. So now at the same price as all the others, which it's a that's clone of. We have Reservist Divisions, which is a decent little unit, but not that amazing. Going down 5 more points. Like, they have militia, they have reservists. The Uzi is not that great of an SMG. Those now being 25 points really gives CLKA a lot of spam though. I already used them before, just because they are really affordable and you can throw a couple of bodies at the enemy. Now they are 12 base availability as well. So they go down 5 points, they get an availability buff. Maybe a bit overkill. Both of them. Like, one of them I would have been fine with. Both of them, I feel like this is pretty scary. Like, the satchel charge is the important thing. If you get them close to the enemy, they throw the satchel charge, and they do their job, and you can throw a lot of bodies at the enemy. Like, that's the two good things about these guys. And doing that for 25 points, that's quite powerful. So I believe those will be pretty good. The British gun group now comes at the same availability as Mordschützen and so on. So 10 base availability might make them a choice again, so that you, for example, now take them over the armored rifles because you get slightly more warriors with them. If you are interested in the warriors and getting them a bit cheaper, because obviously base unit is 10 points cheaper as well. So the high availability here makes gun groups an option again. Don't think it's going to be amazing, but it should be a choice now again. Then we come around with gun group, with the whole 40mm grenade launcher being up in price. And then we have a nice little buff to 35th. 35th getting National Guards units with high availability. National Guard Engineers and National Guard Engineers M67 going up in base availability. The M67 going up to 8 again. 8.5 now instead of 6.4. So you can spam the M67 again, which 35th was not a strong division. It got better again lately, getting it to a decent level now again. The National Guard Engineers being at 10 base availability. So I believe I would get it out now of my deck and take the double M67 again. So yeah, will be interesting to see how this one plays out. Yeah, this was the terrible division deck, so obviously you would want to build it a bit different, but this deck should be in a good choice, in a good spot again. With the National Guard Engineers giving it a decent infantry tab again. Yeah, another unit that got changed is the TLGP in, I believe, also 35th, isn't it? No. Where was the Copperhead again? TLGP. Right, the 9th. That one now is costing 140 points. And coming with the better availability as well. Or with the 2 availability, so it's now comparable to 20-point difference for all these rounds. That's now the standard. If you have Copperhead rounds, if you have guided ammunition, you cost 20 points more, but you have the same availability. With the new M109 in 1st Cavalry, that was the standard that that Strike Team came up with, basically. Will be applied to the Soviet side as well, as you will see in a second. And then we have the M252 mortar going down in price for the Dutch, because it was for some reason 10 points more expensive than the normal variant here. Now, or the Luxembourgian rather. Now it's only 5 points more expensive. So that is the normal thing going on here. Yeah, we have a couple of buffs to M113 ACAFs, the recon tab, or the National Guard ones, and the normal one, both going down 5 points again. M113 ACAF with the recoilless rifle, being more accurate and so on, they are going to get back closer to where they were in the past. There was a time when this was the most OP unit in the game. Every opener started with these. They had been nerfed into the ground. They have done a small comeback bit by bit. They are pretty close now to being fully back, I would argue now, with 5 points cheaper, 35 and 40 points. Decent price point for these. And yeah, should get you a decent amount of mileage out of them. And then we have the VBL Recon going back up to 6 base availability and 35 down to 35 points. So this one got nerfed in the past as well, because there were a lot of 50 cal rushes. Its Soviet counterpart, the BRM1. Oh no, the BRM2. The two will be down in price and up in availability just like this as well. We'll get to that. The BRDM2. Yeah. Well, he has the same stats now, so that will be interesting. And then we also have the Smart 13 ADA going down in price for the Canadians, now from 200 to 290. That's still not a cheap unit, but a bit more affordable as a frontline unit now. Losing it will still absolutely hurt. You just can afford it a slight bit better. And the M98, the Avenger, is, went up in availability. This now has 7 base availability instead of 5 on 0 vet. So that will help out first Cav and the 9th US Infantry. Good bit as well. Getting a good couple more of these. Not a bad unit at all. The rapid fire Stinger is a pretty scary weapon, especially against helicopter, but also decent against planes flying over it. So it being fast to reposition is nice as well. And the 50 cal can come in handy as anti-infantry fire support sometimes. So pretty solid weapon here. And yeah, getting the changer there. Yeah. Then we have a couple of changes to the Canadians directly in the deck. So let's go to Canada. And that first one is that the Reckies now can get in the Grizzly. And the second one is they have MGs now. They have 7.6mm MGs added to the deck. Reservist one and a normal one. So you can bring these guys around now as well. Not quite sure where the reservist one comes from. But yeah, you can put the military police next to them. So these are decent options as well. Outside of that, the changes here coming around. Yeah, the base veterancy. Okay, the Avenger, yeah, got base availability increased from 5 to 7, but lost base veterancy in 9th. So you can bring it at 0 vet. And then in 82nd, we have a small change as well to their ADATs. As their ADATs helicopters here now come with 2 availability at 1 level extra veterancy, meaning that they have better aim time and better stress accuracy on the rockets and so on, and their autocannon. So they're just a bit more efficient. The extra accuracy on the Stingers, especially 8% more accuracy there. This is actually kind of scary. The ADATS is a good Stinger helicopter now, as it was not that efficient, especially compared to the OHs before. Good to see it getting a bit of buff. 14 Hyros are not that much, so yeah, getting a bit better performance here. That's a nice little change as well. So yeah, those are the changes on the NATO side. Let's switch over to Pact. And on Pact side of things, we start with changes to the T10. The T10 gets 5 points cheaper, so 17th gets a bit more efficient here with this boy. And the T10 MK gets 5 points cheaper as well. Doesn't get 3 availability anymore though. It's now on 2 availability like all the other tank leaders, so it's a bit of a loss there for 17th, but 17th gets a bit more love around the place as well, as we will see in a second. We will come to the T64s, for example, and the T64R is now a really interesting little tank, as it comes with a 17-pen heat round now. So it is a lot more efficient on the long-range engagements. Doesn't get extra performance on by getting closer anymore, but a 17-pen heat round, also meaning that it always deals damage against anything. That's how heat works. It can damage even tanks that have more frontal armor than it has penetration. And because the penetration before was really lackluster on the T64R, now gets a better round here. That also is pretty unique. We don't have any hacked heat tanks like this on a good chassis, but yeah, outside of that, good autoloader. It's 10 rounds per minute here. So T64R playing a good bit different now. And together with the T10 change in price, that should play out quite nicely. We have more T64 price changes, so we can just stick with that. T64, the OBR 83, that the AK variant of it. Where is there we go. This one is now 200 points. So that's another nerf to 17th. The one thing's getting punished a bit, being 30 points more expensive than the normal variant in 25th here. So yeah, OBR in second and 17th. Bit of a nerf to second. That's nice as well. So yeah, second cards. 50 grenade launcher nerf and so on should be in a better spot anyways. But yeah, that tank change here. T55, AM1K. That one going down a good bit in price because it was for some reason priced based on the ATGM AM2B variant. And so the AM1K here now, net coming at 140 points because it doesn't have the ATGM. And the same thing happened to the T72B 72B variant, which was priced on the B and not the B1. So it's now 40 points more expensive than the B, and yeah, is increased from 240 to 260 points. Yeah, it was in a weird spot before. Only 20 points more expensive here, but yeah, this is in a better spot now as well. And then we have the T80BK and T80B coming down in price because they don't have the ATGM. They were a lot more pricey before. They are now 270 and 285 points, respectively. Yeah, the T72BK change maybe a bit too much. I believe it should be 250, but about 60 there it is now. Here it's now 285, so they are priced as if they don't have the ATGM anymore. Yeah, before they were 300, which was a bit weird because yeah, 40 points more than this, even though they don't lost the ATGM. So ADPVK, good bit more efficient. Should help especially in War at 19th, where this is now your cheapest tank again. And also helps out in the other divisions. So powerful divisions getting a bit stronger there with that, as the BK and the BEK are in good divisions. So yeah, a couple of small changes there. Then the T72 family got some nerfs. 72B taking the bullets there. B and B1 and B1 OBR all going up 10 points. And the same happens to their Pact counterparts, the T72Ss, going up to 240 around the block as well. So 72S, both same price. Sticking with the East Germans getting Resolute for free now. So this one only went up 5 points, this one went up 10 points. Yeah, T72, the high-end T72s getting a small price nerf here to the normal ones staying where they are. And then we come around to some more recon changes, where we start with the Me Too. Coming around here with the Me Too US as the first unit to go up 5 points. Adder or US, both the same one here, with the paint shop. So those cost 45 points now. On the other hand, we have the Me-24 or D in the helicopter tab, going down. This one here, going down to 130 points. Or wait, it's this one here. Yeah, the East German ones. This one of the Czechoslovaks got missed out in this patch. Will be in the next hotfix or next patch. Will go down to 130 as well. Slight little mishap here. Maybe might be fixed till the launch version. Should go to 130 either with a hotfix before the release or shortly after. So more little buff to the East Germans here. Yeah, both Me-24D variants here now. 130, though this one was the better one anyway, because it has the bigger rockets. So yeah, you just in fourth, you're just gonna stick with this one. And then we come around with some plane changes, where we have the MiG-27s going up in price by a good bit. MiG-27 cluster in 35th, going up from 195 points to 240 points. That was just a really, really crazy plane now with the latest changes to bomb drops. And the Su-24M cluster going up 25 points from 240 to 265 points here. Only this one though, the 139th, didn't get it. Has the smaller bombs, so it didn't deal as much damage. Maybe could have gone up 10 points or so as well. Currently, only this one got nerfed. Tornadoes got scored free for now as well. We'll see how they play out. Maybe they need a slight price hit as well. But the Su-22-4 cluster in 79 was really, really strong. It's still really strong in how it performs, but it's a bit more expensive, a bit more costly to bring out, a bit more costly to lose. So, yeah, 265 for sure. Could be closer to where its value could be. Maybe even still slightly underpriced for how it performs currently, but we'll see about that. 79 catching some nerf here makes sense. Then we have some small price speed changes to the Su-7s. They went from 975 to 950 kmh, but that doesn't play a big role. And yeah, then we have the Commandosi of the Polish. Now coming around as the Dejan Commandosi with the PKM still for Corpus, but the one in 4th, that one now has RPKs, making it a bit better on the move and making it a bit better to push with. It, as a smoke unit, is usually how you want to use them, so switching to light support weapons instead of medium MGs makes a lot of sense here. So having 2 RPK 74 here for these guys, yeah, it's a buff. It's not a big change, but it makes them easier to use, and that's a nice little change here. So, small little buff there. Then we have all the command unit changes, so let's go over all of them, starting with the Pioneer Führer, who has the RPG-7, but only 4 men, so that one went from 45 to 40. It's only 4-man squad with a good RPG, but the normal one with bad RPGs costs 35, so only 5 points more here now instead of 10 points tax for the RPG. Then we have the Soviet border police here coming as a 7-man squad. Those, for some reason, they have military police, but they cost 60, which just isn't quite worthwhile getting around. Now they are at 50, so together with Reservist, that can be quite nice now. Luftsturmführer, Luftsturmjägerführer now 5 points cheaper as well. They have smoke, they have an RPG, but they're only a 4-man squad. So, yeah, the special forces, but they don't really deal that much damage. Oh, Luftsturmjäger here being 5 points cheaper. The Nyabi ready leader going up 5 points because they have smoke and 8-man squad with an AT weapon. It's not the best AT weapon, but still AT plus smoke plus 8-man plus resolute. So 55 points now for these. Reservistenführer going down from 75 to 65 points. As they're an 8-man squad with Estrella. Arguable, but they're Rügner and KDA, so they aren't hurting anybody. Getting a bit cheaper leader there is nice. Bit of love for Rügner. Nice to see here. Solitel leader here coming around, going down in price as well, if I remember correctly. Yes, going from 35 to 30 because they're reservist. They have 80, but only 3 men. So instead of 35, they are now 5 points cheaper. So all making sense there. Wachschützen being the next one, which go down 5 points. They aren't special forces. They have the Strela. They have the smoke. They are 6-man squad. So instead of an 8-man, they are a 6-man squad with Strela. The Scorpions aren't great. Trades are pretty nice. Good leader now again. Bit of love for Berliner Gruppierung. Rügner and Berliner getting a bit of love. Always nice to see. So yeah, those are the commander changes here on the Pact side of things. Let's return to where we were before, and we go into Reservist Saperi. The Reservist Saperi, which by now come in 2 divisions, 17 and 157, and both of these go up in availability. So they, just like the National Guard's engineers, now come with 9 and for the reserve sub-berry, which is a relatively small squad, even 12 base availability. Well, it's still an 8-man squad. So this one is a nice human wave now. Enabled 17th to get a good bit of infantry out, and 17th with the new changes. Like, 17th might be a worthwhile deck now, which is nice, because it kind of wasn't before. But with these now being decently available, I get 9 and 12, plus the improvements to the T64s and T10s, this might be a good deck now. The tank commanders being nerfed, that's a bit annoying. I still want to get the T64 one, AK1, I believe, because that one has smoke. It's the only tank with smoke still, but still nice changes here nonetheless. So that division might be back. An infantry unit that got nerfed is the Rodetsi with the SVD. That one now costing 50 points instead of 45 points. 8-man squad with a sniper rifle and an RPG. Makes sense. A small little nerf to second guards, which absolutely deserves to get a bit of nerf as well. Then all the grenade launcher changes that we already talked about. So 5 point extra there, all of them. And then we have the in 27th guards have the artillery here, the Acacia with the guided ammunition now being 20 points more expensive than its unguided variant, just like with the Copperhead ones for the Americans, and also now coming at 2 base availability. So this is a good option now as well. It wasn't really a choice before. Like, you paid way too much for it, and the base Acacias currently are already decently accurate enough. So guided ammunition wasn't really worth the big tax you paid. So now they come at good availability. I believe that will already change before, but also now at a decent price point. 20 points extra. That's a fair price change for getting slightly better accuracy and a bit more damage output there, most likely. So we'll see a bit more of these guys around, I believe. That's, yeah, the small little change there. Then we have the BM-14, which is the old rocket launcher here that is coming in 17 as well. That goes down a lot in price as well. So this one only has small range, doesn't have the best rockets. With the small range also comes, well, a big circle that it fires in, so it's not really that accurate. And that now got its reload, its rate of fire slightly improved. Like, the time between shots got reduced a bit, and it also got a lot cheaper, 240 to 150 points. So that is a nice little buff here. Might be worthwhile bringing now, if you want to have a rocket launcher in your deck as 17th. This one now might be it. Then we have the PRDM with the Phalanga, another 17th unit, going down 5 points in price from 65 to 60. Phalanga being a pretty slow missile, so it being a good bit cheaper than the Conqueror's one, is at 70. Makes sense. It has the same penetration, similar range, but the BRDM 2 Conquerors here also, like, the missiles have just a good bit more damage, so being cheaper than the Phalanga one being a good bit more cheaper here, as it also has one less shot ready, and so on. Makes sense here. Plus the division needed some buffs. Then the BRDM change that we already talked about, BRDM to Recon, now back to 35 points and up to 6-4 availability instead of 5-3-1, which you never choose the one. Yep, this makes a lot of Soviet decks a good bit more capable. I still find it weird that this thing has very good optics. I would love to see it as good optics and maybe even go to 30 points or 5-6. But yeah, very good optics, 35 points, better availability. This thing is absolutely back in business. We'll see a lot of Soviet decks showing up with this thing again. Like, the French one is only in a few divisions. This one here is maybe the unit that is in most divisions. I think it might have the pole position for being together with maybe Strela 10M or so, as the unit to be in most divisions in the game. So really impactful buff in that regard. And then we have the PTRD, which is uh, the this one here, going down from going up in price from 30 to 35 points. So this one now with smoke and the double MG and the AGS was pretty capable. With the AGS nerf, maybe it should have stayed at 30 points. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes out. As I said, I'm not a big fan of the double nerf. On the other hand, we have the GTMU 1D, not the AGS variant. There is this one here that is just a transport that can be sold, but it's pretty slow. This one is 10 points now. So, yeah, as a cheap transport that can be sold. Interesting. Being 10 points. Yeah, it was 15 points before. Might be an option now. It's still a slow one and so on. It doesn't really make any big difference, but choice nonetheless. The T65A Vidra went up to 6 base availability as well. Didn't get a price change because it has a bit more firepower here with the recoilless rifle than the BRDM2, but yeah, better availability here. Makes it an interesting choice here for 303 and second as well. And the PTS ammunition one, for some reason, 8 extra. We did miss the Polish one though. East Germany wins again. Regner gets 5 points cheaper supply truck here, going from 55 to 50. So, yeah, that is the general stuff here. There is a small change to 17th in the infantry tab as well. It gets a new 2-point cost infantry slot, so it's 112233, and one of its helicopter tabs, like helicopters, now jumps 133, so 1233. So that is in general a buff because you want more infantry here. This division in general should be in a better slot now. Yeah, the base veterancy of the and there are some changes in 35th as well. We will have a look on here, where the Afghansi now comes at 1 base vet. It went from 8 base availability to 7, but before it was 853, now it's 7-5 here, so good bit better. Helps out as an infantry support and as an anti-helicopter unit now. Still not a unit that shoots at airplanes at any moment, so that's the issue here, because at 35th you kind of want something that at least can help you out in the air against aircraft that dive your helicopters. But Afghansi doesn't do that, so I don't believe it's a worthwhile unit. Yeah, this is the one change here. This one here getting up base availability, veterancy as well. And yeah, the Grat here now being locked at 2 vet can't be chosen with veterancy anymore. So those are the changes here. And then 79th has an interesting couple of changes. And the 79th has the trucks removed as options from their Motostralki and the Polomachiki. So you can't choose to have them as fast options anymore, which is an interesting speed nerf here. Often for the opener, you took 1 Motostralki card in trucks, the rest still in IV, so it's not a massive change. But now you don't have an AT infantry that comes in truck. You can still take the Subharris in trucks, but they don't have an AT weapon. So that means that you might want to take... you can't do it with much Redka, so you might want to take the normal Redka next to a Special GRU. They obviously still come in the gas here, but this is an interesting way of nerfing the division. It will be impactful. 79 will still be good. With the nerf to the SU-24 and the nerf to the Plamias, though, it will be a bit less so. Plus that nerf that we just talked about. The TADBV A and B change, that's a nice little buff. Also, this division doesn't rely on the BV variant as much, though. You have the good tanks anyways. So the BV being a bit cheaper doesn't play that much of a role here. So slightly nerfed 79, that is good. And I like this nerf here, removing the transport options from them, so that this division really has to go into the mechanized route. And divisions like 39th now have an advantage in that flexibility over it. So yeah, nice little change there. And yeah, those are the changes here with the balance patches. We now will look on the changes to the map and the visual changes to the AGS and the video there. So yep, let's switch over to that. And here's Protosucker coming in because I missed a couple of things because they were hidden a bit behind and not quite in there. But yeah, the Sheridan actually getting some accuracy buff. The Sheridan Shillag getting up in 10% of base accuracy, going to 50% base accuracy, with it always coming on veterancy being at 55. And the base gun also going up from 40% to 50%. So 82nd US actually getting a bit of love. So this is quite nice. And the Avenger also got a different change to its gun. Its gun now is a real anti-helicopter gun, the 12.7 millimeter. Obviously, it's only a 12.7, so it still is not maximum range against helicopter, but 2100 still makes it so that it actually can sometimes take a shot. It loses 200-meter range on anti-inter reroll. It had 1400 before, now it only has 1200 here. And then the anti-aircraft range is actually there as well, so I'm not sure how much 1775 with 2.2 second aim time really matter there. Against slow aircraft like 810 that can play a role, but there your rapid-fire stingers usually do the job anyways. And then with the BM40, I talked about how it got cheaper. I didn't talk about that it also got smoke rockets, and that is pretty big. The BM14 now has smoke rockets, so that will help out the good old 17th a bit more than it even already is. And on the other side, the Slammer, that one now does cost a good bit more to reload. It was pretty gnarly in 101st, so yeah, it now costing 900 to reload instead of 56 means that reloading this thing is quite expensive, and you now actually have to put in some logistical effort to get it done. And then the last thing that I missed is that the T-80BV's Cobra missile, messed that up again in the tank tab. The Cobra now has 50 instead of 45% accuracy, so that tank launched ATGM is actually pretty capable as well now as well. So yeah, those are a couple more. Let's get into the map and the UI change. And this brings us to the change to maps. There are no new maps, but there is a rework of a current ranked map, and that is Factory. Factory got cut a bit on the sides, so not quite as much backline cheese anymore. And it also got reduced to only 5 zones. We have 2 2-pointers on the flanks. We still have the 3 1-pointers in the middle. And for balancing reason, they got a silo added to this side. Also helps out the big variant of the map. So silo on each side. On the 10v10 variant, you play from this corner to this corner. So this side here was faster at this silo, which gave it an advantage. The other side is faster at this one. So that's balanced in that regard as well. And then we just gonna have a quick look on the new special effects on the grenade launcher. And as you can see, they are a bit more visible now. They're flying a bit bigger. When we have it under the red line, that obviously doesn't help as much. But you can see, especially when the enemy's firing on you, you should see it a bit better now. It's still not the most visible, but a lot more visible than before, where it was basically not noticeable when you zoomed out before the explosions hit at all. So nice little changes there as well. With that said, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you will enjoy the patch once it comes out. It is looking like it is going to be a pretty good one. And see you all in the next one.